Welcome to Spotlight Features, celebrating diversity. Join us as we hear stories that help build bridges across the things that make us different, as we celebrate our shared humanity and diversity. In the spirit of truth and reconciliation, we honor and acknowledge that this production was recorded on the traditional territories of the people of Treaty 7 in Calgary, Alberta. We thank and honor the Indigenous people of the traditional territories of the Blackfoot Confederacy, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda. The city of Calgary is home to Métis Nation, Alberta, District 5 and 6. On this land, we strive to learn, walk, and grow together. Hi, I'm Jay Brewster, a cisgender queer white man with an invisible disability. I work at Rogers Communications in Calgary as a senior manager of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. After years of hiding parts of my identity due to fear, I now advocate for others and build spaces where they can feel safe being their authentic selves at work. Amidst the vast landscapes of Canada, our hearts beat to the rhythm of countless identities, cultures, languages, and traditions. We are a symphony of resilience woven together by the threads of acceptance and understanding. From our rural communities to the bustling streets of our multicultural cities, we find strength in our differences. Our first story takes us on a journey with a woman named Peace. As a child immigrant from Nigeria, she found solace in poetry and the arts. Now as an adult, she channels her passion to assist fellow newcomers in their transition to life in Canada.
The original people that came here, Indigenous people, they have had to assimilate into our culture. And now we expect that immigrants and refugees go into that same avenue. It's not possible. In order for reconciliation to happen, culture needs to be more prominent. I moved here to Canada in 2012. It felt a little bit daunting to come to Canada all the way from Nigeria, just because I also felt like I was trying to be part of, my culture in Nigeria after just moving from Kuwait. And when I finally felt like I got there, like I was finally part of the community, they have stopped calling me names because of my accent in Nigeria. We moved to Canada and it was like a uprooting. And so I had to relearn again what it means to experience culture and experience community from a completely different country. I went to the Open Door Society summer program that they have for immigrants and refugees. It's kind of a way of them integrating you into the community by having facilitators teach you all the arts. And then maybe you can hold on to one. And I remember going to the workshop and feeling incredibly happy, and feeling so connected with the people that were there, even though a lot of them didn't look like me. Poetry and the arts helped me accumulate into the new culture by showing me that the words that I have inside of my brain can have an audience, can have people that can listen to me. I think it's amazing the effect art has on people and the effect that art can have on a community. I believe diversity is an incredibly important aspect of our society, as in Saskatoon's ecology. Like, it needs to be able to evolve and pertain itself, because we can't be a country or be a city with all of these different people if we expect people to assimilate into a culture that we don't even know.
Jennifer of Prince George collaborates with elders of Lately Tene First Nation Together, they're revitalizing the endangered Dakel language, a critical part of Canada's diverse culture. Their efforts are a testament to celebrating linguistic diversity and preserving Indigenous knowledge.
Being an urban Indigenous person, after living on reserve in South Banachek, I got to experience a different kind of way of being an Indigenous person in our community. I am a member of Clayton, but I have Wet'suwet'en, French and Italian ancestry. I am currently the District Vice Principal for Language and Culture for School District 57. In Canada, I think a lot of the Indigenous cultures, as a broader term, are generalized and pan-Indigenous. So we see lots of things like totem poles and teepees and things that, from outsiders' perspectives, seem to represent Indigenous cultures. However, when people take a closer look, they get to see the diversity of those cultures. I try to spend as much time as I can with our elders and in community. When I was younger, I started off with helping out with the cultural camps and the fish camps, and of course the language, which we most recently developed the Daaketh Ghanek, which is the Daaketh language curriculum for the province, so any community can teach the local language, which is really closely tied to the culture, because ways of knowing and understanding the world are embedded within culture and language. The main important support that we've received to bring back the language and the culture has been our elders.
It is an endangered language in our nation. Really important that we try to save our language, because everything ties into it: the land, genealogy, history. Jen is very dedicated to saving our language. When I see her at work, she brings me great hope.
We have a lot of fun. The language is like one of the most fun things, because you play jokes and when you say something wrong, you find out it actually means something else. But it's always fun and playful. I think the dream is to be able to experience the language in our community and beyond on a regular basis.
Us na one day. It's getting cloudy. Yeah.
I think the work that we're doing will help strengthen the diversity in Canada by adding to it and raising people's awareness of that diversity and encouraging people to share and compare a lot of their own knowledge and cultures and languages and ways of looking at the world.
Next up, meet Harry, salsa champion and master hip-hop artist. He's been making moves in Sault Ste. Marie. His mission? Well, to inspire Canadians and help create an inclusive environment where diversity dance styles flourish.
To me, dancing is like, it's the feeling, the expression of the universe. It's alive. From our ancestors, all the village, they dance. All the village have one dance to show, right? It's feeling the music. Dance for me is everything. It's life. Life is movement. Dance, baby. Dance. Now, my name is Harry Challenger. I'm from Dominican Republic. I'm dedicated to dance, hip-hop, break dance, salsa, Latino. I have over 10 years experience in the area of Punta Cana, the entertainment. And I was dancing break dance, and then I moved to Punta Cana. That's when I started to teach more like a Latino, salsa. I love salsa. Salsa is like a high-class dance. Bachata, I love bachata because from my country. I like all dance. I love it. Any dance. If I can learn more, I will learn. I want to bring everything here in Susamarin. Here is a varied community now. It's like a lot of Filipino, Indian, and also the Canadian. Like I put it all together and bring it that culture from Dominican Republic. Dance, it feels good. Seeing everybody dancing and doing what I used to do back home. Now we have that kind of diversity here, and that's what we need to unify together. You understand? With the dance. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. I invite all the community, the people, the person, and everybody join together like the last class. It was Canadian, it was Filipino, it was Indian, it was Colombian. Diversity is me coming here, grab everybody together, and we go in different places and dance, and it made me feel good. Don't get hurt the way you walk, the way you dance. It's a good feeling, like that they see themselves like, wow, I thought I cannot dance, but now I'm dancing. And then they see themselves like spinning around, moving right, left. It made me feel like I'm bringing my culture here too. The favorite part is in the end of the dance. When the people approach to me and they feel like grateful, that they learning and they know I put in my effort today. That's made me feel good because I know now I'm doing okay, I'm doing good. I want to do that because I come out from here, from inside. That's something that I want to do in the zoo. It's really important for me because I have my son here, I have my family here. I'm from Susamarin.
Sylvia, a champion of diversity in Victoria, draws from her experiences to actively promote equity and inclusion. In a city known for its rich cultural mosaic, she reminds us to celebrate our various backgrounds and perspectives that enrich our communities.
I believe in the potential that we have as humans of doing good unto each other and taking care of each other. We all think differently, we all act differently, and we all feel differently as well. So it's important that people are allowed to show up the way they are, to feel that they belong and to feel that they are loved in the society that we live in. Because when you have diversity of people, everybody needs something different. And so equity is there to treat people with fairness, because not everybody is equal and we cannot treat people equally. We have to treat people where they are. I'm passionate about this work because of my own experiences and as a Black woman living in a country where I am the minority, right? I have seen that the same needs that my other colleague may have, they're not the same needs that I have, right? And that's why I'm very passionate about this work, because I was able to learn about equity and social justice. With that knowledge, I was able to say, you know, I want to do this job. I want people from all backgrounds to feel that they belong to an organization or to a community.
I would like us to thank the universe and God for...
I believe in community. I believe that we should know each other's neighbors. And I believe we should help each other, because that's why we are here, to help each other. We cannot live in isolation. We are social beings. We need to be in contact. We need to socialize, and we need to know that we are loved and cared for, so that we can take care of other people next to us. Yeah.
Luke's story is one of empowerment through dance. Despite a tragic accident that led to blindness, he refuses to let it dampen his positive outlook on life. Let's celebrate the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative power of movement.
So with my vision loss, it kind of brought certain aspects to this dance right into the forefront. One of them is connection. One of them is paying attention to that overusing your vision. So what that offered me was the ability to actually pay attention to how someone's body is moving. It gave me the opportunity to recognize that I can close my eyes and actually feel through a connection based on the hand. So dance has been one of those things. It's been the only major thing that I've continued to do and extremely excelled at ever since before my vision loss. It's taught me balance, it's taught me physique, it's taught me how to keep my body healthy, it's kept my mind healthy. I see nothing in my right eye, and my left eye is kind of like an overexposed camera. So I see things, it's blurry on a regular day basis. If light hits my eyes, I go from 100 to 0. Back in 2010, I was in a severe car accident, was in an induced coma for a month. And in recovery process, it was full head trauma. I had my entire frontal face rebuilt. I lost vision in my right eye, had brain damage telling me in my frontal lobe that I would have challenges with certain things. And yeah, it's just been a challenge with my vision ever since that. With my vision loss, it was a journey. Like nothing easy about it, and still never anything simple. I never would have been there if I didn't just continue to push myself. I always believed in continuing to move forward. Got myself back to work and just continued to live my life. I definitely did things slower. I definitely learned slower, but you always take that in strides and just understand that it's better to learn slower than not at all. When I'm in a social dance floor, lights are dim. I focus on the person in front of me, and I really don't see anything else. Really just continuing to help this dance community thrive, getting more involved in the event organization, event hosting role. I would say my entire story has been a story of overcoming. A story just to show people that, you know, it doesn't matter what you're going through. I strongly believe that its attitude is everything, and that mentality is pretty much saying if you believe you can change something, it's up to you to change it, and it's up to you to choose that. Thank you.
Everything I do is just trying to connect with people. I like the idea of telling stories. I think I'm a good storyteller. They're experiencing things the way I experience things. They're laughing at something that I think is funny. They're afraid of something that I think is scary. That's really satisfying. It's nice to know that I feel connected to a large group of people for a period of time. So I'm always writing, and yes, I love doing it, and I can't imagine doing anything else, but art is exhaustive. And even when I'm making things, the process of creating art is people wringing themselves out. There's depression and anxiety and all sorts of other stuff that emerges out of my own disability and neurodivergence. And I just kind of need time to go away and be by myself. People love art, and we love artists that produce things, and sometimes we refer to them as quirky or odd or eccentric. And I think what we're starting to learn is that behind many of these things are disabilities, whether that's neurodivergence, whether that's mental health. And so we like that these people are bringing their lived experience and bringing their lives into their art to create things that inspire and compel us. But I don't often hear people saying, well, what was the cost of doing that to you? I don't know if I always knew something was wrong, but you always kind of know you don't fit in. The thing that changed was I got into a relationship where my partner's son is autistic. Through that, I started learning about neurodiversity. And then I started thinking about neurodiversity, and I started realizing, okay, well, this is different, and there are just different ways of thinking. And so I started to pick up on that. So then when I got my diagnosis, I kind of went hard and I said, okay, well, what does that mean? It's been hugely inspiring, because now I can understand this is why these things happen. This is why my brain is adapting in this way. That's the power of a diagnosis. You can stop saying you're wrong or you're stupid or you're too pushy. When you can take your personality out of it and realize that there are things happening that just make you move through the world in a different way, it's really empowering.
And I also want to acknowledge those of us who are here, because when you experience disability, it's no small thing to get out of the house and go do a thing, particularly around other people. So I want to acknowledge and celebrate you.
So that's why I do panels, that's why I'm doing this spotlight, that's why I'm doing everything I do, instead of just advocating for myself.
Coming at conversations around disability through a justice lens.
We've all gone for such a long time not caring for ourselves to the expense of something else. So it's realizing that you need time to heal and to have self-discovery, that you don't need to give yourself entirely to something. That you can just do it and have fun and hope that people get something out of it, and to try and shape processes so that we don't have to wring ourselves out for the sake of something. And it's so inspiring to know that I can create something that moves people in some way, and they saw the world through my eyes, and that's pretty satisfying.
Finally, Matthew turns every cup of coffee into a conversation, from the vibrant landscapes of Eastern Africa to the central interior of British Columbia. His love for this popular drink bridges cultures and sparks connections through conversations.
There are definitely conversations that I've had with my boys and told them the way the world looks at you may be different to the way the world looks at your friends, and that's just the reality of our world right now. I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job as a parent if I didn't discuss these issues with them, to show them where when you have a lack of diversity, which is essentially people unable to be open-minded and feel what others who don't look like them feel and put themselves in the shoes of somebody else, can result in what it looks like. Yeah, people can get hurt. I was born in Tanzania, which is in East Africa. I have family in really rural parts of Tanzania. I come from generational farmers. I was 16 years old when we moved to Canada with my family. My mom and dad wanted a change, and we moved to Vancouver, Canada. My wife Samantha and I, funny enough, we met at a small coffee shop, and now we have our own coffee roastery. Kahawa means coffee in Kiswahili. My roots from Tanzania and my wife's roots in the Caribou together form Caribou Kahawa. Coffee and diversity to me goes hand in hand, because majority of our coffee comes from places outside of Canada. It's just something that we all enjoy. In Tanzania, it's big, Ethiopia, and in Canada too. Like, you walk into a cafe in the morning and there's people enjoying coffee and talking. So it is something that brings us all together. It's just another way for me that I can keep connected to my roots and share a part of that coffee culture from back home to my new home here in Cornell. See how I perceive the world, someone who looks like me, so that there's that awareness that my interaction with the world is different to others' interaction in the world. And hopefully having these conversations and sharing these stories is, I think, the starting point for creating a more diverse landscape.
Diversity to me is having different perspectives and different ways of viewing the world, and I think it's really important. Diversity makes the world go round, so it's a piece of ensuring the longevity of survival of everything.
Diversity in general, it means that when we talk about diversity of people, we talk about diversity in race, we talk about diversity in cultural background, we talk about diversity in religion, and we talk about diversity in ability as well, ableism as well as ageism.
When I look at diversity as a whole, I would probably look at it as just like everyone's welcome to be who they are. And I have no judgment on that, I never have. All I can wish is that people can be more welcoming towards any racial discrimination, and just choose to look at people as people.
Here are 3 reasons why your social strategies should include Rogerstv. Reason number 1 is we have hyper-local audiences. The community TV channel gives you a chance to engage with people where you live, so you really get to know your neighbors and they get to know you. Reason number 2 is we can help diversify your distribution. With social media, it's really important to be able to have a wider audience, and Rogerstv can actually help complement your online presence by delivering to a different audience. And it's actually really easy to repurpose your existing content or to just create new material specifically tailored for community TV. And finally, reason number 3 is we can help enhance your credibility and your trust. And by aligning your brand with Rogerstv, you can tap into that trust that viewers have. This can boost your reputation, especially among viewers who favor local businesses and value community involvement. 1, 2, 3. It's that easy to build your local audience with Rogerstv.
I hope these remarkable individuals have inspired you just as they have inspired me. Their contributions to their communities across our great nation celebrate the strength of our diversity. Together, we can create a more inclusive and vibrant Canada. I'm Jay Brewster, and thank you for joining us for Spotlight Features Celebrating Diversity.